Hi, hello, good afternoon, all of you. How are you? I hope you are doing well. And after my last class for phenols, today I am going to start the theoretical aspects of ethers. So these are then my next topic is ethers only. So as you heard about what are ethers, as it is also one of the oxygen containing organic functional group like that of alcohols and phenols and some other carboxylic acids aldehydes. Ethers also similar to that of alcohols. Why? Because they are having two alkyl or aryl groups bonded to oxygen atom. Whereas in the alcohol what will happen, sir? There is only one alkyl group attached to the oxygen, the other one is hydrogen. Okay, so that is the difference. For example, if you take a general formula of either R1O R2, then either functional group does not have characteristic IUPAC nomenclature. So for others functional groups we have, but in the case of others there is no particular case of nomenclature, but nomenclature is adapted according to the situation conditions. So there are two methods are there. We will be discussing. So it is necessary to designate as a substituent. So either function group as a substituent also can one of the function group, either function group is behaving like a substituent. In case of alcohols also we did the same thing. To do the common alkoxy substituents are given names derived from their alkyl components. Okay, so that is why to call these ethers as alkoxy alkanes, there are some common alkoxy groups names is given to us here. So we can also call ethers are now alkoxy alkanes. So this is another name for the ether. So ethers can be named by naming each of the two carbon groups as separated word followed by a space and word ether. So as we know the OR, so for OR how we represent that telling the group can also be named as substituent using group names alkoxy. For example, CH3O is there, that we can call it as methoxy. CH3CH2O is there, we will call it as ethoxy. And CH3 twice CHO is there, that we can call it as isopropoxy. CH3 thrice CO is there, that we can call it as a tertiary botoxy. So there are four carbons are there in the alkyl group. Directly that carbon attached to oxygen, that is botoxy. And as you know, in the previous session we discussed about phenoxydione is also one kind of alkoxy. Here we'll call it as phenoxy. Let us see an example here. We have CH3, CH2, OCH3 that they have given here. So this they are given. And this is called as ethyl methyl ether or methoxyethane. Why we'll call it as methoxyethane, not ethoxy methane? Because the smaller and shorter alkyl group becomes alkoxy substituent. So which alkoxy substituent we will have to identify first is the alkyl group which is smaller, that means in the carbon chain number is less, that we have to call it as alkoxy in the naming of ethers as alkoxy alkanes as per the IUPAC nomenclature. So larger the alkyl group side becomes the alkane. Larger alkyl group will be there. So that larger alkyl group will called as alkane. For example, larger alkyl group 3 carbons are there. And smaller alkyl group we have 1 carbon is there, means that we will call it as methoxypropane. So in this case also the same thing happened. Ethyl methyl ether is called as ethoxyethane is the example given. Now we will see how the uh, alkyl groups on each side of the oxygen numbered separately. So that means alkyl group number should be different. The numbering priority is given as per the carbon closest to the oxygen. Means which number is close to oxygen, to that carbon we will give more priority. In this alkoxy side, shorter side should be there. That we will call it as oxy. Ending is the name of the compound. So for example here we are seeing CH3, CH2, 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 CH2. How many are there? See, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 CH2s and 1 CH3 is there. And after that we have one propyl is there. Means 1 propoxy pentane. Not only telling the name, as per the IUPAC we have to call it as 1 propoxy pentane. That means in the pentane the first carbon is bearing that propoxy group. So if there is a cis and trans stereochemistry is there, the same rule also still applies. Moving on to another example we have, this is CH3, CH2O, CH2, CH3. As you know, this is the simple ether which is also called as a general ether, diethyl ether. We will refer to this one as just ether. And in this we have general formula CH3O, CH2, CH2O, CH2, CH3. Like that is there. Means if anything is there like this OCH3 methoxy group is there on the adjacent carbon atoms. Like we saw vicinal dihalides. In the same fashion, if adjacent carbons are having alkoxy groups, here in this example we have methoxy groups are there on the adjacent carbons. The reason why we will call it as ethylene glycol dimethyl ether. Means if this OCH3 is OH, we will call it as ethylene glycol. But hydrogen is replaced by methyl group, so it is called as ethylene glycol dimethyl ether, also called as glyme. Okay, another name of this compound is called glyme. Let us see some common names. Simple ethers are given common names in which alkyl groups bonded to oxygen are named as alphabetical order. So alphabetical order, as you know, ether is there. Alphabetical order, how we will say it is ethyl, methyl. In this, ethyl will come first. So accordingly, we have to put the name. And the top left example shows, here we have example is there. Common name of the whatever the thing is there under IUPAC's name. Mainly, many simple ethers are symmetrical and their two alkyl substances are same. These are named as dialkyl ethers. So we have example here shown, that is CH3, CH2O, CH2, CH3. That example is dialkyl ether, is a common name of the ethers. Let us see anisole. What is anisole? This is actually nothing but a benzene ring which is linked with a methoxy group, also called as methoxybenzene. Methoxybenzene. That is anisole. Oxirane. What is another one example we have given? Oxirane. Oxirane is nothing but 1,2-epoxyethane. Means there are two carbons are there and that two carbons are binded by one oxygen, that is called as epoxyethane, ethylene dioxide, dimethylene oxide, oxycyclopropane. These are the names of the oxirane. Another one, furan. What is actually furan? This is also a cyclic ether in which oxygen is said to be one of the bridged atom with 5-membered ring here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oxygen is said to be a bridged atom in this. Dioxane. So here we have dioxane is an example given which is actually a 6-membered one. In that 2 oxygens or bridges are there, that we'll call it as dioxane. Okay. Hope you observed dioxane is nothing but this is dioxane. Now cyclic ethers. We'll see. If oxygen atom is a part of the carbon skeleton in the ring, then such ethers are called as cyclic ethers. Their general formula is H2N times O, where N is equal to 3, 4 and 5, 6 also can be there. For example, you try to write how the cyclic ether will be there. This is one cyclic ether. 3 members are there. Oxygen is one heteroatom in this. Here we have 4 membered is there. Like that, we have 5 membered is there. In the same way, we have 6 membered is there. Not only 6 membered, 7 membered rings also possible it is. So here I will give you okay like this. There are 7 members are there, but in that n value is 6. Here we have n value is 2. Here n value is 3. Means n means methylene group, CH2 groups. Here n is equals to 4. Here n is equals to 5. N is equals to 6. Calling one thing that n is equal to 2 is called as oxirane. N is equal to 3 is called as oxetane. N is equal to 4 is called as oxolone. Oxolane. N is equal to 5 is called as oxane. N is equal to 6 is called as oxypane. These are the names of the some cyclic ethers. Okay, now indicating that cyclic ether is nothing but it is formed by the combination of methylene groups with oxygen bridge. So we will close the methylene ring with oxygen, that called as cyclic ethers. So not only that one, in this above examples, a 3-membered cyclic ether is written here. This can also be considered as oxides of the parent alkanes. Okay, oxides of the parent alkanes. Okay, thus they are named as alkene oxides or epoxides. Moving on to the IUPAC discussion. As per IUPAC, 3-membered oxygen containing ring is called as oxirane. That's what we observed here. And with oxygen atom occupying the first position, thus the propylene oxide is called as 2-methyl oxirane. Suppose we have propylene oxide is there like this. This we will call it as 2-methyl oxirane, means this is the second carbon. Over that we have methyl group is there, that will call it as the 2-methyl oxirane. Suppose we have 4 carbons are there in a chain like CH2, CH, CH2, CH3, and these two are joined by oxygen. We can call this is 1, 2 epoxy butane or 1, 2 butene oxide. 1, 2 epoxy butane is the name of this compound. So likewise we can understand cyclic ethers. Further information also we have now. Now we will call cyclic ethers with more number of carbons as crown ethers. What are those? They are called as crown eathers. What are crown eathers? Most important topic for advanced exam, and even for students preparing for JEE NEET exam also. The crown eathers are heterocyclic polyethers. So these are the crown eathers, heterocyclic polyethers, usually with at least 4 oxygen atoms are present. Here 4 oxygen atoms are there. These are called crown eathers because they have crown like shape. Okay. So their name consists of 2 numbers. So we can see 2 numbers in the name of the crown eathers. Is the total number of atoms. So 1 is nothing but total number of atoms, and the second number is nothing but number of oxygen atoms in the structure. So in this we have 12 crown 4 given the structure here. In this 12 atoms are there. In this 4 atoms are oxygen, remaining 8 atoms are carbon in the methylene groups. So that's why it's called as a 12 crown 4. See the next one here, this one. In this we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 oxygens are there. Remaining 10 are carbon atoms belongs to methylene groups. So 15 atoms including 5 oxygen atoms are there in this 15 crown 5 structure. So they can able to form. What is the importance of these compounds is nothing but they have some gaps are in the structure. The gaps we will call it as cavities. In the cavities, any of the alkali metal ion able to form a complex, and depending on the size of the ion, this ion will tightly strongly fixed to the crown ether. So that is what the importance of this one. This is also an important thing that inorganic substances dissolve in organic substances because of crown ethers is the reason behind this one complex formation. See, how can we see further information on cyclic ethers? It is possible to dissolve ionic compounds, inorganic compounds, in organic solvents using crown ethers. That's what I told. So cyclic polyether with 4 or more oxygen atoms now is called as crown ether. And all the crown ethers have central cavity that can accommodate a metal ion coordinated to the ring of oxygen atoms. Cyclic compounds with the general formula will be given like this, as we have observed. Okay. Crown ethers are named using both the total number of atoms in the ring and the total number of the oxygen atoms. That's why 18 crown 6 is an 18 membered ring with 6 oxygen atoms apart in the figure, present in the figure. And moving on, another one, the cavity of the center of the crown molecule is lined with oxygen atoms and large enough to be occupied by the cation such as K+. So potassium ion can able to occupy and forming the interaction with the crown. Crown ethers are useful for dissolving ionic substance such as potassium permanganate organic solvents. In isopropanol, we have an example also in the diagram. And these crown ethers solvate cations inside hydrophilic cavity, whereas outer shell consisting of CH bonds, which is called as hydrophobic end. Depending on the availability of the crown ethers with the cavities of different sizes allow specific cations solvated with a high degree of selectivity. That is what the crown ethers importance is a most important topic in the advanced case also. Now let us see one very beautiful diagram of this 18 crown 6. This is nothing but 18 crown 6. Okay. 18 crown 6. Inside that there is a potassium alkali metal ion is shown, which is captured in the cavity forming a complex. It looks like a 3-dimensional. This is the 3-dimensional picture we have. So like this crown ethers and their information is important in the examination point of view. 1 or 2 times already they have asked that this type of crown ether question in the examinations. So we can expect this question in the coming competitive examinations also. Okay friends, hope you understand this session. Okay, thank you.